Hi, my name's Trevor, and in this video, we're going to be talking about how you can use sidechaining in your mix today. So sidechaining is using channel A to affect parameters in channel B, whether it's a gate, a compressor, or a dynamic EQ. As always, when we're talking about audio, headphones are recommended, especially in this video, because we're going to be focusing on a lot of low-end energy that you're not going to hear on your phone or your laptop. So we have a few different examples of how you can use sidechaining in your mixes. First one we're going to go through is a bass guitar and a kick drum. So we are going to be sidechaining a bass guitar to the kick so that when the kick drum activates, it will dip some of the low-end energy out of the bass guitar and let the kick drum really come through. So in this example here, we have a multi-band compressor that is focused around 64 hertz that is sidechained to our kick drum channel, and our sidechain is set to external, which will be affected when the kick drum comes through. So with nothing on, this is what the bass guitar and the kick drum sound like. So the kick drum really isn't shining through in this mix. When we activate our multi-band compressor, which is going to be compressing down the low-end frequencies of the bass guitar, when the kick drum hits, you'll hear that kick really come through. So you can hear that kick drum really stand out now. So we'll turn this guy off and we will go and do another example with the same thing, but this time using a dynamic EQ. We are again centered around 60 hertz. We have a wide Q, so this is what it looks like. We're dipping down about 14 dBs. You can set more or less depending on what you want it to do. And then our threshold, when the kick drum passes, it will then activate that dip. We're again set to an external sidechain source, and our sidechain is set to this kick drum. With nothing on again, this is what it sounds like. And with the sidechain dynamic EQ in, this is what it sounds like. With the dynamic EQ, you can hear the kick shining through like you did with the multi-band compressor. In our next example, we're going to be talking about using triggers to open up the gates on your drums. So triggers are great for toms because it's not going to open up if your cymbals are really loud or you have a lot of bleed from other drums. It's only going to open up that gate when you hit that tom. We have a Emo D5 in gate mode that is sidechained to our trigger source, which is this channel here, set to external so that it is listening for this channel, which is our trigger source. Our trigger source on this particular instance is just a sound, and this is what it sounds like. Now, this is not what a trigger would sound like, but it's just an example for when the trigger gets signal, it will open up the gate on a drum. And then this is what the drum sounds like by itself. And then together, it sounds like this. And what I'm going to show here in a second is there's no audio source right here to open up the gate on this drum sound. So what's going to happen is when we play this one, we're not going to hear the drum come through. And that's because there is no source to open up the gate on the drum. If we mute this, which is our trigger, which you wouldn't have up in general, but now you can see every time that trigger happens, it's going to open up the gate on the drum. And anywhere there isn't a trigger source, like this one right here, it is not going to open up the gate on the drum. So that's how you can use triggers to open up the gates on your toms. In our next example, we are going to be talking about using a tone generator followed by a gate to add low-end energy into your kick drum. So we have a tone generator here that is generating a sine wave at 46 hertz, followed by a gate that is sidechained to our kick drum, which is this channel here. If we took off the gate, this is what you would hear. It's just a constant 46 hertz sine wave. But since we are sidechained to the kick drum, it will only open up and come through when the kick comes through. So we are going to set our floor to infinity. If we set it to anything less than infinity, it will still come through whether the kick is activated or not. So I'll show that. So you want to make sure the floor is as low as it possibly can be. And we are side chaining to this kick drum, and this is what it sounds like. And when we add our tone generator, this is what it sounds like. So this gives you a lot of low-end energy that you can control into your kick drum. You can adjust the tail of the generator by adjusting your attack and release time. So depending on what audio console you're working on, you may be able to sidechain, multi-band compress, and dynamic EQ, or maybe not. Most digital consoles can use sidechaining on the gate and the compressor, but a lot of them do not allow you to sidechain the dynamic EQ or the multiband compressor. If you're working in Waves LV1 or Super Rec, you'll be able to sidechain multiband compress and dynamic EQ, as well as gates and normal compressor. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this gives you more confidence in using sidechain compression, EQ, and gates in your mix. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future audio mixing videos.